Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for another episode of the Zebrunner product series. And today we're about to discuss 4 ways how we can boost efficiency of your QA team with AI tools, specifically covering Zebrunner AI capabilities. Just to remind you of myself, I'm Stan. I am working as customer success leader at Zebrunner. Today we are together with our team members. Sergey is a technical leader at Zebrunner and one of the creators of Zebrunner products family. And we'll be happy to discuss this issue with you and maybe answer some of your questions. So moving forward, I would like to remind you of Zebrunner as a product. We are a family of products actually dealing with various issues automated and manual teams are dealing with on a day-to-day basis and trying to make your life a bit easier, streamline your operations, eliminate any information silos that exist between the teams, and provide a helicopter view for those of you who are interested in seeing the results of your testing practice. So among a versatile number of products and functions we provide, we also have some of the AI-powered features which we'll be covering today as a part of this presentation. I'd like to start us off with reminding of the state of AI in general. So according to one of the consulting providers, we now know that over 75% of all organizations have already implemented AI in some form, and over 40% have actually reported that they have seen considerable improvements either in cost decrease or in revenue increase, which brings us to the idea that AI is here to stay. It's taking the pace and potentially will take even more space in the coming years. At the same time, if we look into another data related to quality engineering professionals, which I believe most of you are, we see that the data is considerably different in the fashion that those engineers are applying AI tools in their day-to-day operations. And we see that less than 50% have actually started to work with certain AI tools in their practice. And with more years in the practice, it seems like there is less and less desire to do so. So this gives us the flavor of what's happening, right? There is a boom in AI, in adoption of AI. At the same time, testers are sort of critical to some tools that exist on the market. And if we look even further and try to see the picture into which kind of tools companies like us provide to testing teams, we see that there is a lot of focus around creation of manual test cases, around generation of scripts in automated testing, as well as data generation. While for many other possibilities, there is much less adoption yet. So Zebrunner is constantly dealing with a number of companies we're working with as users. We are discussing with them across exhibitions and day-to-day calls we have. And we've accumulated some data in regards to the kind of issues they are usually dealing. So after talking with over 200 experts and engineers, we've seen that almost half of them, like more than 43%, have recently reported that they violated their deadlines, which was connected with not having enough team capacity. Also, almost 40% have reported that they would like to spend a bit more time with reviewing the test coverage that they currently have within their team and products. And one of 4 leaders, testing leaders, would benefit from improved visibility into their products. So those were some of the issues that we have dealt with and seen more and more often coming from these respondents. And we were trying to address some of those and see how we actually can help to build a better practice with the help of AI. So as of now, I would like to suggest you to try to see how we can try to address these things with the power of functions provided by Zebrunner. And specifically for that, I would like to introduce you to our interface for those of you who have seen us. Maybe it's already known information, but we are also a test case management solution for actually dealing with the test library, and we test our product in our own tool. We have over 4,000 cases, which are user-friendly and can be easily accessible and edited, reviewed. So we have the test suites, we have the content of the suite, we have the content of the test case, which can be edited in a user-friendly manner. We also can see all the executions done manual in automated fashion, depending on the specific case. But for now, I would like to focus on creation of test case. And this has to deal with this capacity that teams have in their possession. So normally what we would do, we would add another test case by filling the gaps, the fields in the test case pop up. So I would like to create a new test case related to, let's say, bulk test deletion, bulk user deletion. And I would be doing all the regular stuff I usually do. Like I will be setting up priorities, describing it, setting up the preconditions, connecting any requirements I have, setting up the steps. So normal process of test creation. But in this case, I would like to use our AI tool and see how it can save me some time. So as you see, just in a matter of seconds, it can actually fill all the required fields. It analyzed the content of the test suite I'm currently in and suggested which kind of descriptions, conditions, and steps I might follow to actually cover this specific function. So let's say I'm happy with it, but if I'm not, I'm actually able to change anything. So I've just created a test case in a matter of, under a minute. Okay, so we already know how to create cases, populate them, and actually, automate the process of their creation, but we still need to think of the actual cases we would like to implement and add into our library. Another group of users that we faced and dealt with a number of times over the past years is users who are overwhelmed with the number of the cases they have in their library, and they would like to spend more time on actually reviewing these cases, like having a reliable body who will be able to look into their existing cases, add new cases that might improve their test coverage from the quality perspective. And let's say AI could be such a body. So we have our test suite, which is covering over 30 cases for the function related to user management in our product. We will click this button and AI will now analyze the content of this test suite and provide us with more ideas how we can actually test this product. And again, it will show up to 6-7 test cases, which can be easily reviewed. If we don't find them valuable for some reason, not every test case might be relevant to our specific product, we can simply reject them, or we can improve them to actually represent what we would like to achieve. But the idea here is that just by spending a few minutes, we will be able to have this third-party expert view, like an external audit into which kind of cases we might be missing and actually improve our test quality and test coverage. So let's say I would like them all. Right, so this is one of the cases that we have been able to introduce, but what if we are dealing with existing requirements? Like we have introduced new function. There is a friendly business analyst on our team who has created requirements for us in our Jira instance. So let's say we have this requirement and we now need to create test cases based on that. With AI, we also can do it quite easily and quickly. So I would need just to have this number copied into my test case management and fill these fields related to our requirements management system, Jira in our case, choose it, and add it into the content and into the context of what AI is currently analyzing. So on top of analyzing the test suite, we can add as many requirements, tickets as we like. So currently we just need this one. And similarly, AI will now present me with more test cases related to this specific requirement and trying to cover this specific function. I can do with them all I want. I can improve them. I can accept them, reject them. whatever I think might be valuable for me. So again, in a matter of just a minute, instead of going through the requirements in details, obviously I would need to do it myself as well for a better context, but the idea that I can create these cases in a matter of seconds just gives me, an idea, a hope that I can spend more time on more valuable parts of my process. For now, let's reject them. So those are some of the ideas that we try to address the area of test coverage and the capacity of your team in terms of creating and managing tests manually. Another part of this is the ability from Zebrunner to actually deal with your automation practice. And a lot of times what we are seeing in our conversations is that some of the teams are just overwhelmed with the number of tests that they are dealing with. The product is growing, the regression time is adding up. They just don't have enough eyes to be able to analyze these tests properly. And this is where the product itself is helpful. We can provide you with this visibility into your existing automation reporting practice, connecting to your CI/CD pipeline, and providing this flexible historical perspective into what is going on in your product. So we currently have connected our automation framework, TestNG, and we have launched one of the test runs there. So it represents a few test cases, and we see the results of these cases. So we can see the overall test stability, historical perspective, time it had taken to actually launch the test and run it, parameters related to the environment that we've been testing, related test cases, the time it took the user, and we see that one of the test cases has actually failed. So we see the result, the log that shares the result of this test, failed test. If we go a bit down and see this picture in more detail, we'll be also able to see the actual moment the test failed. We'll be able to see the steps it took us to reproduce these results. We will be able to see all the previous launches of this test. But for now, I would like to focus on the AI capability, and this is this classification capability. So with the help of AI, we have developed this algorithm that is helping teams to analyze the results of the test and see whether the failure has to deal with any specific issue. And I would like to mention that those buckets and tags are customizable, so you can adopt them to your specific testing practice. In our case, we have chosen this one, and we see that indeed this feature, this test specifically looks like something as a business issue. It didn't comply with the requirements of the test. So the system has already provided us accuracy of 76%, and each time we are accepting these results or changing the results, we can actually reinforce the system to learn a different reasoning for this. So in this case, I've changed it to locator issue, and it will resolve this situation in a different manner. But if I reinforce it, it will improve the accuracy with more and more time we have spent on it. So this is a kind of lower level detail on what's going on, how we can actually improve the visibility for this one. If we look into the results of the test that we have just run, we're able to then filter specific tests that have failed for specific reason. And as I've mentioned, the teams that we are dealing with have hundreds of tests that need to be tested and analyzed. And this already can save them some time on looking through those specific tests that they actually have more issues with and analyzing them on this predefined algorithm manner. On top of that, a part of automation reporting is providing this helicopter view. So for every type of issue you have, you can customize a widget, which will provide you with details per perspective on what was happening with your testing process over the last, let's say, Q4, as we have it here. So we see that mostly the failures that we have been dealing with business issue or locator issue. And then we can allocate specific resources to deal with this issue in the future. So I believe that's it. What concerns AI capabilities that we currently present in Zebrunner. So I'll be happy to get back to the slides with you. So as you see, we try to address these issues with the help of available tools. And we don't think that we've been able to address any possible issue. As mentioned, testing practices vary considerably. There is just too many tools in organizations' disposal that have to be unified and make sense of. But we were able to achieve certain results with these AI tools. And specifically, we've asked our teams that are working with us, the customers we have, whether they have adopted Zebrunner AI functions and what were the results that they had. So we've seen that over 40% of organizations already started to work with Zebrunner AI functions. And it's rather a successful metric that we are proud of, that over 72% actually seen some improvement in their efficiency already after first few months of using Zebrunner tools. Among those, which I really believe is most important, is that they were also able to improve the metric like bug leakage, and therefore have happier users, have their happier bosses, teams that actually deal with less bugs. So those are just some of the ideas and case studies that we had in relation to AI field. As mentioned, I believe you have your own situation, and we would be happy to hear from you on your bottlenecks, which kind of issues you are currently dealing with, and perhaps we will be able to address them not just with the power of AI, but with some other tools that we have in our disposition. That's it, what we wanted to share with you for today. I believe you might have any questions, so feel free now to send them into our Q&A part of this webinar. In the meantime, I would like to thank you once again for your attention, and in expressing our gratitude, I would like to suggest you to try out our product. We have 2 weeks trial for any organization without any requirement to pay for it, any connection of related to credit card. You will be able to use these AI functions that we just described for free. And after that, if you'll be interested in continuing your journey with Zebrunner, for those of you who are watching this webinar, we are presenting this very special program where you will be able to benefit from Zebrunner over the next first year of your use at a 30% discount if you work with us for 10 or more users from your organizations. So really appreciate your time today again, and let's move on to questions that we might have. So the first question that I'm seeing relates to which kind of security measures Zebrunner is taking in order to deal with AI functions. First and foremost, I would like to mention that Zebrunner is certified as ISO 27001 organization. So we treat our data seriously. More specifically, none of the data that we collect about users is exposed to any third parties, especially when working with LLMs and organizations that provide us with AI capabilities. On top of that, one of the options for those of you who are more interested in security and would like to raise it to the next level, we also have a possibility to provide you with on-premise version of Zebrunner, where you will be able to implement your own custom algorithms, your own private LLMs that will be able to make sure that none exposure is done to any third-party providers. So the next question I see is related to which kind of models do you use for your AI capabilities? We rely on ChatGPT mostly, as well as Claude AI. So those two are the primary providers for AI capabilities, case generation capabilities that we've just demonstrated. And the more priority we currently give is given to ChatGPT. So as mentioned, we kindly invite you to ask any more questions that you might have in person. We will be happy to answer you in any channel, be it Slack, support channel, or via emails or LinkedIn. And describe your situation. Which kind of issues do you have? Did AI work for you? Which tools did you try? And we will try to address it in person with your specific details and environments. So for now, I don't see any other questions coming, and I believe that's it from our side. I really appreciate your time today. I hope you have a successful end of the year, end of the quarter, and spend this time with your family, with your friends, and hope to see you next year again. Let's try to make our testing practice a bit more efficient. Bye.